Back out again on a separate trip, this time out of the Scab Creek trailhead, which is much smaller and less popular, even though it is much more accessible than Big Sandy. So the winds just had a once-in-a-century windstorm, so tons of trees down all over the floor. Lots of down trees. It's like being back in Washington. Nice bridge and little divide lake. And this is kind of interesting. This seems to be a very man-made little sluice, which I think is taking water from Divide Lake, which is higher up. I don't know. I'm looking at my parents' 40-year-old topo map and referencing that with the map on my Garmin, and there are a lot more trails now, and it's quite easy to navigate. So I've been mostly hiking in the forest today. This is really the first mountain view I've had. That's Raid Peak, and then the really spiky one is Mount Bonneville. And then there's Pronghorn Peak, Dragon's Head, some others, and I believe that's Hall's Peak, and that one with the ridge on the top is Victor Peak. So this sign's a little misleading, and actually this is the sign you should pay attention to. Heading towards Dream Lake. So this is Dream Lake. It's quite lovely, and the water actually looks pretty clear and rocky on the bottom. If I were feeling warmer. Look at all these little tiny plants growing everywhere. So cool. Here is Bob's Lake. And one thing I love about the winds is that, like the Sierra, there's so much water. You never have to worry. Those are the first clouds I've seen all day, and it's almost 6 p.m. I stopped and had dinner, and now I'm going to keep hiking for a couple more miles. Which is good in bear country, but it's definitely a reminder that I don't like hiking on a full stomach. So this is a problem I've never encountered before. The water froze a little bit overnight, and now I can't get the ice out. Honestly, the down trees have not been that bad. Nowhere near as annoying as Washington when you're starting in July in the PCT. But this is a pretty big zone that's blocking the trail. So I think this is Howard Lake. As you can see, there is no wind right now. And I think this would be a good swimming lake if it were warmer, because there's some rocks and then it drops off fairly deep, so you wouldn't have to be in the gooey bottom. So I just looked at my map, and that was not Howard Lake. These are the Pipestone Lakes, where I'm taking an early lunch because it's really pretty. And I also need to dry out my tent because it got frosty last night. So this is super weird. So just like right in there, it's crazy windy. And it sounded like a jet for a second. And like right where I'm standing here, no wind, nothing. Jet. So I was wondering why there was a rock here and there, but didn't really think about it and just took the trail. But you can just barely see that's the trail I'm supposed to be taking. Pretty easy to miss. So the trail has totally disappeared, unless of course this is the trail. Supposedly I'm on it. I hadn't expected to lose the trail for a couple more miles. So it's going to be a little slower going than I expected. So I found a very vague trail again. And I think this must be Europe Canyon. And as long as I stick along here, I shouldn't get too lost. Whoa. This is definitely Europe Canyon. So somewhere right up there is the Continental Divide, where I will cross it. What's really crazy is that I'm definitely the only person out here. I don't know how far you can see, but way far away is where I came from. And this is a really great mountain. Kind of reminds me of the approach to Whitney. Door floored home. And I'm almost there. Continental Divide. I made it. Oh my God. And wow, this is what you see on the other side. So one other thing I'm doing while I'm here is spreading a little bit of my dad's ashes, since I'm on a route here that my parents did probably 40 years ago that not probably many people do. So I think this is the spot. And here are my off-trail miles to get me to the trail that I will take back on this wild loop through the Wind River Range. Probably almost nobody sees these two lakes. One behind me here, and another further down where I'm headed, because they're both off trail, but it's so amazing. So this is probably hard to appreciate, but all of that is what I just scrambled down. Took a very long time. There's a little waterfall thingy, and almost to the lake where I will meet my trail. Oh my gosh, trail. How nice will that be? So there's really been almost no trail. A few rock cairns. Gaining some new skills. Back above tree line, obviously. And somehow that's the continental divide that I need to get over. It's very steep. So here's what I've been scrambling through. And here's what I've got to scramble up. So I was just scrambling across this cliffside before I finally found the trail. Definitely the sketchiest thing I've ever done. So that was not fun at all. I would not recommend. We'll see if it's fun when I look back on it later. So this is where I'm headed, down towards this basin, which is kind of behind a lot of the mountains I saw before. That's Mount Bonneville right in the center, super craggly one. I guess this is called Photo Pass. But honestly, I just don't feel like taking too many photos. Never in my life been more thankful for well-spaced rock cairns. So, honestly, this morning's scramble up the pass really took it out of me physically and especially mentally, and I'm really ready to be done. So, I'm gonna get to that trailhead. So, I was all up in this. And behind all this, and even that's Pronghorn, and I was behind that too. And of course, Bonneville, looking craggly. Somebody left this giant bag of trash here. It was here when I came out on Friday. It's still here, so I guess I have to fucking take it out. You people suck. It's heavy.